I don't know if somebody ends up dead. I have no idea.
It scared me. Like, I can't imagine how you feel being a mother, but I was anxious watching it the entire time where I was like wanting to fast forward because I'm like, I don't want to see what happens.
When you're in your early 20s, remember how controversial that is when people are hanging out with their boyfriends instead of the girls?
Just because someone is at a certain place in life that you think you need to be doesn't mean it's like the correct order for you.
You do get things when you're ready. Like, I do think that the universe, they've got our back like that if you believe it does.
Welcome back to another episode of Mean Girl Pod.
How is it going?
I realize we are nail twins again.
Yes.
Pink.
It's very happy, but I'll tell you this. I'm going to Aspen this weekend where it's going to be like 8 degrees and my pink is just like not the vibe.
Okay, question for you about that. But first, did you find a dress?
No, all of my dresses, you would never do this, but all of my dresses arrived today.
Wait, when's your flight?
Tomorrow morning.
Alex!
I know. And it's like, I need to even check if they're being delivered. So I need 3 nights of outfits and I have one. I'm just like wearing stuff I had. And then the other 2 nights, like Aspen, like formal, I had to order it. I don't have it. So the video you posted on TikTok, the one I commented on, I saw a comment saying that you're not supposed to wear red to a wedding. And I just found that out, like, literally when I was in Miami, my girlfriend was like, well, you can't wear red to a wedding. And I'm like, what? Yeah, why? Why is that? I never went back and looked at what the reasoning was.
I think it's supposed to mean that you have been like a past lover of the groom, which I could totally be making up in my head, but I think it's supposed to be like the scarlet letter, like the red A. I think that's what she said.
Do you know why I thought? I was thinking you don't wear red because it's like a bold color and it could be perceived as like upstaging the bride. That's what but also so is pink and all of those colors. But we're getting a nod from Jules that yes, it's because it's like a scarlet letter.
Which is crazy because red looks like, that's just like, to me, if I think black tie, I think you're wearing black or red.
I mean, 100%. Like, I think I don't think I've ever worn red to a wedding. I'm not typically drawn to red. I just know, when it comes to weddings, I stay away from light pinks, silvers, anything that could be close to white. But I've never thought about staying away from red.
No, never. Also, I was crying this morning at your autocorrect to Tate's name.
Oh my God. Got to check it every time, titties.
What were you singing to her? You were like, I love you, titties. I was like, tears were coming out of my eyes because I was like, she probably has no idea.
No, and I just need to either call her Tate or I need to go back in and check the text.
I was dying. I was like, only Alex
would just not check that. Yeah. Dang, I know. It's a terrible autocorrect. Tell us about your monster.
So today I'm back on the White Monster Ultra train because last week I had it and I mean, I forgot how much I love it. It is so good. I will say though, yesterday I was at the store and these 2 like high school kids were buying the blue monster and I was like, I do miss that blue Hawaiian. She is good.
You love them both. It's a good problem to have.
You know what's wild? So I live near a high school and on lunch they allow the kids to just leave and go get lunch, and some of these kids are like 12.
Oh, wow. That's got to be a New York thing because like because they're walking, they're on foot. And so I guess 1, maybe they're strapped for space, but 2, like you don't have to drive to go anywhere. You just like blew my mind.
I was walking past a pizza shop and these 3 boys came out and I swear to God, they were probably between the ages of like 12 and 15 with their lunch boxes, and the other kid had a slice of pizza in his hand, and I was like, I wasn't allowed at our school. We couldn't leave for lunch until we were seniors.
Same. And it was very strict.
I'm just like, what happens? Like, I was just like, wait, where's your superior? Why are you guys allowed to just leave?
That's probably why New York kids grow up so fast. Like, I feel like that's the one place where these kids are well above their years as compared to the rest of...
Also the trust. I would because I'm a horrible rule follower, but like I know so many people who'd be like, peace out, I'm not going back to school.
No question. And it would be like really hard to go back to school. Because you'd just be like, it's a pretty day. Let's go run around the city.
Or they would like do bad things like drugs and alcohol, and I don't trust kids.
Yeah, I mean, a nice weathered Friday afternoon, you'd really be hard pressed to get me to go back.
Right? Yeah, I was just shocked. I was like, only in New York you see these things.
You live by a high school? Is that what you said?
It's either a high school or like a middle school of some sort. I've never seen a kid like too old there. So I would say maybe more of a middle school I live next to.
That's crazy if middle schoolers can leave.
Right? Just the fact that there's like a middle school like in the city where I live is just, I still will never understand that.
I don't either. It's a totally different mindset. So different than what we're used to.
Yeah.
I'm dying to, well, we'll do our roses and our thorns, but I'm dying to hear about your Napa trip that you finally planned.
Okay, so I moved that to my rose because I saw your note and I was like, duh, like I forgot to put that as my rose because I had written my rose before we booked it. Like we just booked it yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But I'm finally going to Napa and Sonoma for my 30th birthday. Pete and I are going and I am so excited.
It is so well deserved. Like this, and if this wasn't what you were doing on your 30th birthday, I would be like, what are we doing? So what's the plan? Which one, Napa or Sonoma or both?
So we are staying in Napa, but I told Pete I really want to at least go to Sonoma for one day. So we get in on a Thursday, we'll do Napa that day, and then I said let's do Sonoma Friday and then Napa Saturday because I know everyone is saying Sonoma, 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 but I know I'm more of a Napa girl because from what people have said, they're like Sonoma's more like low-key, casual, Napa's more high-end. And I'm like, I am a high-end girly. I love that like bougie-esque thing. And I'm like, that's what appeals to me with wine. So I'm like, I'm a Napa girl.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. So do you have your vineyards like planned? Not or yet or no?
Pete has it. So for my 30th, I told Pete that I just want him to plan it. So he has like taken over the planning and he's like slowly booking things. Like even if I recommend something, he's like, no, I already got to figure it out. I'm good. So he's taking care of that.
I love that.
But we do have you been to Napa and Sonoma?
Yep.
Did you prefer Napa or Sonoma?
I love Napa. I love, love, love Napa.
Did you like stay in Napa?
I've stayed in Napa twice and Yountville once.
Oh, I want to go. Yountville's on my list. I would love to go there.
If you could get into French Laundry.
So we're going to, have you heard of Mustards?
Yes.
He just booked that today.
That's going to be so good. That's the spot.
That's in Yountville, right?
Yeah, that's in Yountville.
Because I told him, I was like, French Laundry would be like legit, but I also know that we might go and be like, okay, the experience was cool, but we just spent like so much money for like a very not necessary dinner. But I was like, we got to go to Mustards because the food looks incredible.
You got to go. Oh my gosh, you're going to have so much fun. Like you're going to have so much fun. Oh,
I forgot that you had gone so many times.
Yeah, I honestly, I love Napa. I just am not like a massive wine girl. Like I don't love like, you know me, I'll just order. I would typically let you order it actually. So wine tasting to me it's ironic that for as little as I know about it, I have gone so many times.
Did you go when you lived in California?
You guys know Jordyn and I cannot stop raving about Skims, from the Fits Everybody whole entire collection to all of their basic t-shirts. It's the staple that you need in your closet. The fabric is so buttery soft. And of course, the number one thing we love about Skims is it has entirely changed the way we buy our bras. Specifically, I want to talk about the Fits Everybody Scoop bralette. I went and bought another one the other day. I went to the store and I bought one because these bras, they don't hurt. You don't come home and want to unbutton them, take your bra off. You forget you're wearing your bra. It's comfort and it's support. These bras are to die for. Also, the Fits Everybody thong, you won't even know you're wearing underwear. It is truly the best thing ever. J-Dub says she wears it when she travels. You can wear it to the gym. You can wear it truly anywhere you want. So you guys, shop Skims best intimates, including the Fits Everybody collection and more at skims.com and Skims New York flagship on 5th Avenue. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show and the drop-down menu that follows. Yes. Once while I lived in California, once when I was in Oklahoma. Yeah. So I did go when I lived in California. Harrison, though, this is what's funny about it. Like Napa, when he lived in San Francisco, Napa was like his Hamptons.
Yes.
Like they would just drive out there all the time. Are you driving from the airport?
So we need to figure that out. Why? Is it bad too?
No, you should do it. You should drive if it makes sense. And when you map it, you got to they're almost the same distance, but do the one with the Golden State Bridge. Like it is beautiful. It was such a beautiful drive.
Okay, so that was my thorn, was that tickets to get to Napa and Sonoma, obviously okay, let me rephrase this. Delta tickets to get to Napa and Sonoma are out of this world. I mean, like $900. Most are layovers. They don't have direct flights to Oakland or Sacramento. They do to San Francisco, but that's like their high season because we're going in June. So we have to fly United because they're like $400. And I'm just like, come on, Delta.
What's this companion ticket though?
Okay, so I don't know if, I forgot, you're American, right? You're American airline girly.
Yes.
Do you guys get companion tickets if you hit status or if you have a card where you get like, it's almost like BOGO, like buy one, get one for airfare? So Delta has a companion ticket where it's like it's an incentive if you use the Delta Amex. So I have the Delta Amex and it's like, oh my gosh, you get one companion ticket a year so you can go anywhere and bring someone for free. I didn't realize all the stipulations that came with it, like only specific flights, certain classes, XYZ. So I was looking, the only flights that they offer companion-wise to San Francisco are red eyes. And I'm like, I'm not taking a red eye for Pete to get a cheaper flight.
So it's the least sought after flights.
Yes. Like going to Minneapolis, easy peasy to get a companion ticket. But anywhere good, you can't do multi-city. You can't do anything more than Maine or lower than Maine. It has to be a certain time of day. I'm just like, Delta, you are so rich. Can you just throw us a bone?
No kidding. Stuff like this drives me crazy because they promote it and then below it there's this asterisk, right? And it's like certain exclusions and limitations apply. And this just happened because we're going to talk about a show later and I don't have Hulu, so I had to get Hulu this morning. And I get like the basic package, and it's like it should be good. And then I go to watch the one show that we want to watch and it's like locked. And so I got to I'm like, I have to go back and upgrade just to watch this one show. But it told me I would get all my shows, but you don't actually get all the shows. And it's just like, I'm just like, come on, you guys. They're just putting us through this hamster wheel.
And also I have never booked a flight where I'm like, well, I shouldn't say never. Most times when I book a flight, I'm not like, any day or time of day works for me. Like I don't have no one has that flexibility. But so when you book a companion ticket, it's like, okay, I guess cheaper flight or more PTO because Pete goes in the office. So he's like, I couldn't do a red eye even if I wanted to because I would have to take PTO on Monday then. So he's like, the average person can't even enjoy it.
What was your other problem with Delta recently that you stopped? You had a problem with Delta like a month ago and you were going to stop going to a lounge or they were charging or something.
They got rid of the Delta lounge for anyone that isn't a reserve card member or a certain status. Like you have to be like Diamond, which is like as high as it is, or fly Delta One or be a reserve. Because like before I could go in and pay like $50, but now you have to pay like an annual fee, which I think is close to $800. And I'm not paying $800.
That's wild. Wild. These airlines, man.
And they just changed how you get status too. Like it's just, I love Delta, but they're really frustrating.
They're making it hard to love, aren't they?
Yes. So I will be flying United, I guess, but we'll fly into San Francisco then so we can see, you said the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes, you got it. When you map it, though, like pay attention to which route you take because it was beautiful.
Oh, my brother lives in San Francisco, and I've seen the bridge once, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It's insane.
Yeah, it was so fun to drive. It was a fast drive, and then the drive was, if you take that route, it was a lot of farmland. And a lot of vineyards, and it's really pretty. It's like worth the. It's a great drive.
I love that. I always forget that Harrison lived in San Francisco. Was it before LA?
I think it was. I mean, yes, it was before LA. I don't know if he went San Francisco, Hong Kong, or Hong Kong, San Francisco. I don't know, but he did live there. He loved it. He absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my brother doesn't live in San Francisco proper, but like I don't see him leaving anytime soon. So,
is he still dating his girlfriend from Christmas?
He is. Yes, they're going very strong, and they seem really happy together. So I'm excited for him and her.
And will you see them when you go?
No, because our trip is so like scheduled, where we pretty much land Thursday, go right to Napa, and then our flight will be leaving Sunday. So I mean, they could come up and like join us, which would be fun, but we don't have time to like dilly dally.
I love this. I'm all for like, just because we're going where somebody does not mean we have to see them. Like,
probably won't even tell them.
Honestly, I love that. That's refreshing. Okay, cool. So no, I'm not gonna see him. We're busy.
Yep. You know me. I have an agenda, and I follow that agenda to a T.
No, I do know that. That's why I was wondering if we were gonna see him or not, because I figured it would be booked.
Yeah. No. Sorry, Colton. Okay. What are your roses and thorns?
My rose is, we're going to have a block party with our neighbors, but it's going to be like a crawfish boil. And Harrison's never been to a crawfish boil. And we used to do these in Oklahoma. My uncle would do them. And like, I love a crawfish boil. And it feels very summer. It feels very Texas. It feels very block party, very neighbor. So I'm super excited about it. Have you ever been to a crawfish boil?
I was going to say, I don't think most people have. I have not.
I got Tate like a little outfit for it. Like, I'm so excited about this crawfish, but it feels very community.
Whose idea was the crawfish? Because when I picture Texas block party, I thought you were going to say like a barbecue.
It's our neighbor's idea. Like, he's a ranch guy. Like, he's just, I mean, and so he's like, it was his idea to have the block party. And then B, he texted and he's like, my friend's coming. He's going to do crawfish. And I was like, that is fabulous. And so it's BYOB, and then everybody brings something fun or tasty. So everyone like will bring a little something. I don't know what I'll take. Probably a dessert. And then, yeah, I think it'll be great.
I mean, I know we talked about it last time, and I don't want to persuade you, but like, this is huge for your like loving your neighbor and like your community you live in.
Okay, so the update is there's a house directly behind me we would have to live somewhere for like 15 days. Like we haven't seen the inside yet. I've only seen photos. But from what I can tell, I really love that house. So that's a promising new lead. But
okay,
we don't know like a lot about it yet. It's off market, but it's coming to market. It's literally behind us.
Do you know them? Like the people who live there?
No, but our neighbors know the realtor that's getting it.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like a little under the table deal. So that would be, I don't know, just we'll see. But one thing that we've been really thinking about a lot is like, I mean, like we love our location. So, and listen, I think the neighbor is doing the block party, as like a little reminder of how nice our area is. Yeah. Wasn't this nice? So I'm with you though. Like, what you said really stuck with me, because like I still know my neighbors from when I grew up.
Yeah, I was telling Pete that. I was like, because he asked me, he's like, do Alex and Harrison have an update? And I was like, no, but we were talking about neighbors. And he was like, let me tell you, that is so important, because every place I've ever lived, he's like, my best friends were my neighbors. Every place I've grown up since, I don't like my neighbors. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, like I love across the street beside us, the other side of us, diagonal from us, and down the street. Like I love 5 people on this just block. And being the same ages, with kids the same ages, it's like so perfect. I agree. So I do think location will end up trumping like the house. Love that. When is the block party? It's next week. Okay, because you have Aspen. Okay, quick question about Aspen. Is Tate going? Yes. Okay. I know it's such a pain to get to Aspen. Well, it is, except we don't have a lot of direct flights out of Austin, but we do have one to Aspen. What? So we actually have
we've had a lot of painful flying times out of Austin because we've connected a lot of places, like Orange County, right? We had to fly to LA, then drive down because there was no directs. But this will actually be, if it doesn't snow, it should be a fine travel day.
Yeah, because I remember when we went, it was like so common for your flight from, was it Denver to Aspen to get canceled? Was that where
That's the biggest problem.
It's like a lottery. It's like 50-50 chance that you might make it or not.
Right, exactly. And so the fact that we're not flying Denver to Aspen is huge. So our odds are, I'm feeling good about it. So it should be easy.
That's cool. I love that there's a direct flight, which is also so random, but love that.
So random. I mean, we don't have a direct flight to Oklahoma City. We have a seasonal direct flight to Vancouver, but we have one to Tulsa. So, like, what?
Oh my God.
I know. And then my thorn, it's not really a thorn because it's well, it is what you make it. But it's my breastfeeding update is that I'm going to keep going and I'm not going to like kill myself with it, right? Like when we go to this wedding, we've got a girl that's going to watch Tate like while we're gone. And usually I would come back and I would like pump or feed her. We're not going to do that anymore. Like we'll combo feed or something. Or maybe my supply will be up. Like we'll just see what happens. But I am going to keep going for the time being because I'm at like a pretty good place with it. I've had like a lot of ups and downs, but mentally right now I'm good. And so for the time being, we're going to proceed.
Yeah, because your body just like will on its own stop producing milk, right?
Some people's do, or if you hit your goal, then you can wean off yourself. But with that comes like a hormone dip a lot of times. And so I wouldn't even do it this week anyways with this trip coming up. But I would prefer my body to dry up naturally because I don't want to go through like another hormone shift.
Yeah. Well, now Tate had her first solid food.
Yes. Okay. I thought though, I was like, okay, now that she's eating, we can drop a bottle. No, you should just experience this because you don't just like put the mashed up sweet potato in her mouth and she swallows it. Like she's never even experienced this texture. She doesn't know how to swallow it. Like we're not getting nutrients from the food yet. Eventually in like 3 to 6 months we will. But for right now, it just kind of sits on her tongue. She laughs. Like, we're not, like, eating it. Yeah.
I'm dead. So, have you given her anything else, or is it just sweet potatoes right now?
Yesterday, I gave her banana. And then last night, I gave her, what was that? There's, like, this little thing called Little Spoon that we gave her. Oh, it was carrots.
Okay.
Bright pink, not pink, purple. Which carrot? Root carrots.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a purple carrot, yeah.
Yeah, so we had that last night. I mean, it gets everywhere. It's adorable. It's so cute, but it's not like a meal. It doesn't count as like a bottle.
Oh, Dad. Did you guys have a little party for her half birthday?
Yeah, we just like the neighbors came over and we had like a try solid foods for the first time, and it was really cute.
I love that. Oh my God, I can't believe she's already 6 months.
Me either. I cannot.
Time for baby 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Time for another one. I don't even know if I've updated this, but like I still haven't had a period, and some people have, but like there's been days where I'll have like really bad cramps and I'll be like, okay, it's coming, but I still haven't had one. I think though it's because I'm still breastfeeding, pumping, but there's no correlation. Like some people are pumping and they have a period. Some people don't get a period for 9 months, but yeah, I haven't had one yet.
Oh, so it is normal. Like some people it like takes 9 months.
Some people's can take a year. Yeah. Like it's just everybody, like not everybody, but like every human body is different, like in this regard. And so it's definitely not abnormal that I haven't had one yet. But yeah, I just haven't had one.
Interesting. Yeah. I've said this so many times, but it's just incredible how little I know about the birth pre and postpartum as a woman, like how little they teach you. I'm like, oh, I assumed you got your period the next day.
I know. And some people do. Some people get it like month 1, like as normal. But yeah, no period. So, which I'm not mad about yet.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take it.
I was going to say you're like, besides if you did want to have a kid, like you're very lucky to not deal with that on a regular basis.
I just haven't in so long either, like I don't remember having to put tampons in a purse. Like it's been over a year, and like I don't miss it.
Oh, I forgot because you don't get one when when you're pregnant. So yeah, it has been.
Yeah, so no love lost there.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
What if we told you could start saving money? All you have to do is download Rocket Money, and then they'll do the heavy lifting for you. Think about this. You have all these unwanted subscriptions that you signed up for, and then you forgot about the trial period, and then it ends, and then you're charged month after month after month. The subscriptions are there, but you're not even using them. In fact, I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Thanks to Rocket Money, you can see all of your subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones you're not using anymore. And then you can start to save money, you guys. It's that easy. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/meangirl today. That's rocketmoney.com/meangirl. rocketmoney.com/meangirl. So we're watching Good American Family.
Yes.
Can we talk about this right now?
Yeah, sure. With Ellen Pompeo.
Who, I didn't even watch Grey's Anatomy, and I'm just like, what's the girl's name?
Meredith Grey.
Yes, she is Meredith Grey, but like, she's doing a phenomenal job in this role. She's doing like so good.
So what we wanted to do with our listeners is we wanted to watch a show with you guys. So every week, Alex and I are going to watch Good American Family because it's an episodic. So every Wednesday, a new episode will come out. And we want you guys to watch it with us so we can discuss it on the podcast, kind of like a book club, but like a TV show club.
Yes, and I'm going to hate this year's book. What did you think?
So I want to do more research on how true the story is, because I know it's true, but I want to know to what degree, because it scared me. Like, I can't imagine how you feel being a mother, but I was anxious watching it the entire time, where I was like wanting to fast forward because I'm like, I don't want to see what happens. I don't want to see what happens.
Same. I felt the same way. So I Googled it. I was like starting to Google it, but then all I read was that it is based on a true story. I don't know what happens. Like, I don't know if somebody ends up dead. I have no idea what. So don't tell me.
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. So in the beginning of the first episode, it's like fast forward to, I think, it's 2019, but then I forgot how far.
9 years. They go back to 2010.
So they know. I think it's apparent that no one has died because the three boys are there. She mentions the dad's name. She's there. Everything seems good. But then she blames the dad. So it's almost like, my prediction is that the daughter that they adopted and the dad become really close, and they kind of form an alliance against the three boys and the mom. Like, I feel like she might pin the dad against the mom and the other three boys.
And then she says she tried to kill me.
Yeah, the last scene, I won't say too much, but that was terrifying. I was like, was that a dream or was that real?
I know. And when she was holding the knife, like, the fact that it's based on a true story is wild.
Yeah, did you ever watch I think it's called The Orphan, a scary movie growing up?
No.
So it was the same storyline. I actually think that might be based off a true story. But so in Good American Family, the daughter that they adopt has dwarfism. I can't say that word correctly. Dwarfism. Mm-hmm. So she is older, but will always appear and look younger. And in the movie The Orphan, they adopt this girl. She has they don't know she has dwarfism, but they adopt her, and they find out later on that she's actually a grown adult pretending to be a child because she has dwarfism. And I think that's the premise of this show as well, where this girl is actually a lot older than she is, but she's pretending to be a younger girl.
Okay, that makes so much sense. I knew she had dwarfism, and I heard them talk about it, but they were saying she's actually in 7th grade.
Yeah, like she's older than she's saying she is.
Yeah. Okay, that's such a good prediction. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you should watch. I mean, actually don't, because if the show makes you anxious, that movie terrified me. I watched it as a very young person, but it was very scary.
Yeah, okay, now I get it. Okay, so she could be 25.
Yeah, I think what happens is she ends up going to like the doctor, and maybe her dental records show her real age, but like more comes out. And I don't know exactly like how much is what I'm assuming and what I've read and how much is from the movie, but I think that's like what happens. Because remember how she didn't want to take a bath?
Yes.
I think it was because I would assume the mom might be like, you're older than you seem to be, like when she undresses and gets in the bath.
Wow. So do you think she has a crush on the dad?
Oh, I think that I don't want to say he falls in love with her, but I think he like almost does, and that's why he picks her side over the mom and the boys.
Oh my God. Wow. And this is a true story. This is wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Because one thing that is interesting, though, when the cops do come, they say the boys are like, should we call dad? So it's like they still think like there's some sort of unity still happening, but
then she says, don't call dad. He did it to me. Like, call Grammy.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Oh my God. Okay, that's really, I didn't know all this.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like this show is going to be like a really, really good one. Like it's one of those shows too that I am itching for the next episode. Like I'm excited for the next episode, but also scared.
Is the next episode not out?
The next one is. So what Hulu does is they'll release the first two to get people like excited, and then it will start coming out every Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Like I'm excited for it. I am and I'm not. Now I'm actually more excited for it though. Now that you explained some things, I just really wasn't catching she could be older.
Yeah. But and like that's where I need to like recheck my facts, because I don't know if I'm like getting it mixed up with the movie The Orphan, or this is like what I've read about this show. But I think it is about this show from based off of the previews and stuff too.
Juicy. Okay, cool.
And it's only 8 episodes, so like I feel like it will move fast, which I love.
Yeah, we could do it. We could totally. Okay, that it will move fast. But I was literally in fight or flight mode the whole entire time.
I was too. I was like, I could like feel myself like sweating, and like I got like just like uncomfortable and itchy, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm very uncomfortable.
I do. I totally agree. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen though. And then what else is, I love these short series where they finish the story.
Okay, I was just gonna say that. I don't know how we used to do TV shows that were 23 episodes long, like a season.
It's wild. Yeah, that is. You just told me about one. Oh, what's the Texas football show?
Oh, Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights. Yeah, those seasons are so long.
There was this girl on TikTok recommending shows, and she's like, this show only has 1 season because then it got canceled, but don't worry, there's 24 episodes, so it'll keep you company. And I'm like, that's like 4 seasons to today's shows.
Oh, yeah. I'm all in on this short, sweet, finish it. But it's crazy. It'll take us 8 weeks.
I love a limited series because I get bored. By the 2nd season, I'm usually over a show, especially by the 3rd. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Is White Lotus getting better, or what was the update there?
Okay, so speaking of White Lotus, Pete wants everyone to know that he likes the show and that I can't drag his name when I make my opinions.
Respect. You know what? I'm really glad he cleared that up, because I did think you both hated it.
He was like, Jordan, you lied. And I was like, what did I lie about? He's like, you told everyone I didn't like the White Lotus. I liked the White Lotus. And I was like, sorry. He was like, make sure that you keep my name out of your mouth when you make your strong opinions. And I was like, okay.
Okay, I will clear it up. Okay, so let's set the record straight. Pete likes it. You don't. Your house divided.
I still am like, no. I watched every episode since I've stated that I don't like it. Pete's like, don't worry, this episode's going to be great. My coworker said that she was laughing like hysterically and like couldn't stop. And the episode ended and I was like, where were our laughs? You didn't laugh. I didn't laugh. This wasn't funny.
You could have dropped a pin in this room. Okay, so you just hate this. We're on episode 4?
Yeah. I mean, There's still time. There's 10 episodes, I think. So there's still time. But I'm like, season 1 and 2 were insanely good, in my opinion.
So this is just, okay. But does Pete like this season as much as previous ones?
I think so. Yeah, he like seems to be very into it. And I'm just like,
okay.
Whatever.
So he's like really enjoying it.
Yeah, and he told me that the internet loves it too, and he doesn't know what I was talking about when I said that the internet doesn't like it, because I was like, we're on different sides of the internet, because mine is all like boring and his must be entertained.
So confirmation bias is happening. The internet knows what. Okay. Interesting. All right, well, maybe some of our listeners love it too, and just know you're with Pete's with you.
But I'll still watch it. I'm gonna finish it through. I feel like I owe that much to this show.
You do. And if he's watching it anyways, it's like, okay.
It's something to look forward to on Monday, because obviously, like, I don't watch it Sunday night because it comes out at 9. So, like, it does make a good thing to look forward to Monday.
It's important to have something fun on a Monday. So I'm with you.
But I'm going to get Pete into this Good American Family show because I feel like he'll like it. So.
I mean, it's going to be juicy.
Is Harrison watching it or just you?
Well, no, but I'm going to get him to watch it, I think.
Yeah, because now you can watch episode 2 for next week, but you can watch it whenever because it's already on Hulu.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now I'm thinking about this. She's older. Okay, now my wheels are turning a bit, but it's still spooky.
Oh yeah, I'm excited though. Should we get into today's episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
Today's topic.
Well, we are in the episode, so let's welcome to it. Back to another episode of Mean Girl Pod. Take it from the top.
I'm losing my mind.
No, I know what you mean, though. The topic.
Feeling left behind. So we had a girl DM us last week that sparked this topic, and her DM said, can we talk on Mean Girl about being the last in a friend group to get engaged / try for babies and whatnot? Like, I feel like my moments won't be as big because they'll be busy, you know? And after Alex and I discussed that, we thought it would be a good time to have a conversation about, like, feeling left behind in life, how you feel like you should follow specific timelines, or some people feeling the need to, like, skip to specific parts of their life to catch up to their peers. So that's what we're going to chat about today.
Dog lovers, listen up, because we have 60% off your welcome kit of a premium, delicious dog food called Ollie. Everybody that uses Ollie is obsessed with Ollie. They cannot stop talking about it. Jordan's going to talk about her parents' dog, Elroy. But let me tell you guys, if your dog could talk, they would be begging for Ollie. A fresh whole food diet isn't just delicious. It can add 2.5 years extra to your pup's life. And I know everyone loves their baby dogs. And so if there's anything you could do to add a life to that in years on the life, you would be doing it. Jada, how much do your parents love Ollie?
They love it so much. And anything that will make Elroy live longer, I will do, because I love that dog as my own so much. And he loves it. I swear his coat is becoming shinier. His allergies are becoming less. And he just seems like an overall healthier and happy dog. And he just loves the taste of it. I mean, like, he eats it in like 2 seconds.
And it's not fair, you guys. We're so concerned with what we as humans eat, but we should be so concerned with what our pups eat too. But you know what? Ollie removes that concern for you, and they take care of it, because they give you a 30-second quiz, and then they'll create a customized meal based on your pup's weight, activity level, and other health info. So it's truly a tailored meal kit. And for example, Ginny, Julie's dog, is allergic to chicken. And so she got the beef and turkey sets for her dog. And so you guys, there's a million different ways that you can do it, but dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/mean and tell them about your dog, and use code MEAN to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl box guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/mean and enter code MEAN to get 60% off your first box. And so we broke it down into sections. So we have finances, babies, relationship/marriage, and careers and social media that we can, like, talk through.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that the umbrella topic here, though, really is, like, you don't feel left behind if you're not comparing to something, right?
1,000%.
And I feel like all of these categories, people do compare. You compare who can afford what, who already has kids, who's married, career-wise is a big one. And then on social media, like social media is obviously the largest place where you can compare because everybody's life is just on display.
And glamorized. Then you're only showing the best, not the worst. So you're assuming that the people around you and your peers are just living their best life because that's all they're showing, of course.
Totally. So do you have an example of when you did feel like left behind?
Yeah, so I know I spoke about leaving Minnesota during our episode of feeling stuck, but I also felt very left behind, and that's another reason why I wanted to move to New York. And also I thought that it would diminish that feeling because in Minnesota, all of my friends were in serious relationships, engaged or married, or some of them were having kids. And I just felt like I was being left behind by a lot of them because obviously when you get into relationships, you start hanging out with your partner more than your friends, which is so normal. But when all of your friends are in relationships, you start to feel like you don't have anyone. And that's how I felt like my weekends turned into a lot of solo time and a lot of trying to like figure out what I could do because all my friends were just kind of like moving on with their lives and getting families and partners. And I did feel like I was just being left behind.
Yeah, I think that that's a very valid thing that a lot of people feel.
Yeah. And I know now and when I moved to New York, that definitely went away. And I've been so lucky to get a boyfriend around the same time as my friends. But I have friends who are like, now we kind of feel like we're being left behind because we're the only single ones in New York. Like usually a lot of it has to do, from what I've seen, is the relationship thing where people feel like they're just being left behind that way.
Totally. I think in the 20s especially. I think that relationships is the number one thing in the 20s. So my example of the feeling left behind was whenever I got divorced, like I restarted, right? And like I didn't have kids, and a lot of my friends had kids earlier than I did. And so that was like an area where I never really felt left behind though with the kids actually. I will say though it was when I restarted, like I restarted my timeline. And so then you do think like, whoa, I just started from ground zero. And obviously everything worked out, but that was an example where I was like worried. I was like, okay, well this is an interesting time to restart. But nonetheless, like I don't think you can let that hold you back from doing things. But one thing that I do think I was thinking about, because I know a lot of our listeners are in their 20s, and my favorite piece of advice that I got from Jennifer Welch, she was the interior design boss, and it has to do around career. And so she was saying how people will get these jobs in their early 20s, and they'll be, if we're on like a football field, right? They'll be on the 50-yard line when they're 22. But that doesn't necessarily, just because they're ahead then doesn't mean they finish the race at 30. Like just because where you are right when you graduate in terms of career-wise, if your friends have a great finance job right out of college, doesn't mean when everyone's 30 that they still have the best job. Like people can plateau, like you never know. And so don't compare yourself to people around that age. Like when you were that age. Remember, like I don't know if you remember how it was. I think you were probably doing corporate insurance. And so, but like, look where you're going to land at 30, right?
Yeah.
But it's like when you're that age, it's really hard to see. Like I had a cool job because I was like working for her, but some of my other friends were making so much money and they had moved cities and all these things. But then you fast forward to 30 and you see, okay, that's where I started. This is where I landed. And I think that just because you have a good job at 22 doesn't mean you necessarily have a good job at 30, 35, 40.
I love that so much. And I also, like, I feel like my biggest comparison comes with our career in social media because sometimes you'll see girls who are, like, 22 gain, like, Alex Rowe, for example, she's, like, 23, multi-millionaire, like, billionaire, who knows, she's so wealthy. Or you see a girl join social media and in, like, a year, she's gotten to, like, a couple million followers, and you're just like, why can't that be me when I've been doing it this long? And it's so hard, but what you said is so true where you don't know exactly where you'll land and you can't compare yourself. And something that helps that is looking up to people that you admire who are in a similar trajectory as you. Like I remember, I've talked about this on the podcast before, but Girls Gotta Eat was my favorite podcast growing up, and I loved them. And they didn't start until they were in their 30s. Like they didn't meet and start. And now they're one of the biggest female podcasts out there. But if they were me right now, they wouldn't even have been started yet.
Oh, that's actually crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
I've heard you say that, but I never thought about it in terms of like right now. And
yeah. So I feel like I tend to feel very stuck in life when I compare myself to others, but I always try to like take a step back and like remind myself that there is no timeline. Everything will happen how it's supposed to happen. And I think what you said and what Jennifer told you is so true. Like everyone's path is so here or there, but like you just because someone is at a certain place in life that you think you need to be, it doesn't mean it's like the correct order for you.
No, and when you said you were talking about how everyone had a boyfriend and like when you get a boyfriend, you start hanging out with them a lot more. And that sentence sparked, like it took me back to my 20s. Because when you're in your early 20s, remember how controversial that is when people are hanging out with their boyfriends instead of the girls?
Yeah.
And I remember it seemed like the biggest thing on the planet. She was hanging out with her boyfriend on a Friday night over going out with the girls.
Yeah.
And then slowly we all grow up and we mature and we're like, it's actually becomes the opposite where it's like, expect me to be with him. Okay. And then on and on, like the outlier time is going to be me going out with the girls, right? It flip-flops. And
yes.
Right. And then your mentality flip-flops. And I was thinking about the 20s and I was like, whoa, navigating the 20s was like so wild because I don't know for sure, but I would bet that most of your change will happen in your 20s. Like, because you go from college always being like college is of course you're living on your own, but like you've got classes. And if you don't go to college, then you're just starting now for the first time to like live on your own. And then from there, you're just taking this like massive leap in the world. Like you're still on your parents' insurance until you're 25 or you can be, and it's like, there's so much, this independence comes and then you have to figure out what to do with it. And of course you're comparing yourself to all the other people. I think that I at least want people that are listening to feel less alone knowing that like, I mean, I definitely did it.
Yeah, and also it's so wild to think that society makes us feel like we're supposed to have our whole life figured out in our 20s, and it's like you have so much more life to live and so much more growing and learning to live. And if you had it all figured out in your 20s, think about how boring your life would be if you had nothing else to figure out.
Exactly. And I think like it's just never going to be easy, right? Anything worth doing is going to take time and hard work. And I do think spending your 20s chipping away at that, not thinking, oh, I wish I could just catapult to here. Because you don't really wish you could catapult to there. You really do wish, like, given the option, if you walked up the mountain or if you took the gondola to the top of the mountain, like, you're going to feel really accomplished if you walk up it. Yes. If you take the gondola and skip all the steps, then you're just kind of standing up there.
Yeah, and I feel like this girl who sent that DM about being, like, the last in the friend group to get engaged or try for babies because she thinks the moments won't be as big or people will feel too busy. It makes me sad for her to think that because I can understand that thought process, but I feel like when you truly surround yourself with good people, you won't feel that way. And especially like when you find a partner, you won't, like, I don't know, I guess like when I think about getting engaged, I don't really think about my friends as much now that I have Pete. And same like with one day when we get married and have babies, like I just think about like how him and I will feel, and probably my parents because they'll be grandparents.
Yeah, and it's funny too. I would rather not get married with the pack.
Same.
That's where I actually think it's less special.
Yeah. Like,
right? Because then you're exhausted. You have wedding exhaustion. You have 8 weddings in 1 year. But when you're the outlier, when you're 3-4 years later, people are ready to do it again.
Right? Like, or when you have a baby and all your friends' babies are grown up, like all your friends are gonna have baby fever and they're gonna be like, oh my God, let me hold your baby. Like,
and they'll have the experience to share with you. And do you know what you and I are doing right now?
What?
We're literally doing the mindset shift for her. So like she was saying, which was like our action item. So
yes,
one thing that we had talked about was like doing a mindset shift, and we're verbally doing it. So this girl was saying, all my friends aren't going to be, they're not going to care. They're not going to want to celebrate me. I'm going to be like left behind. And we're saying, no, they'll have experience. How cool is it to not get married when everybody else is? They're going to be so excited to go on a bachelorette trip when you do. When you, like, I texted one of my friends the other day and I was like, hey, what was your first solid food? Right?
Yeah.
She's got a 4-year-old. Like, that's who you go to and you ask. It's actually a really good thing, I think.
The mindset shift is so true, and that is what I started to implement when I was dating, because I would say like the dating was where I felt the most left behind, because in Minnesota, like I said, everyone was wifed up. But I remember I used to tell myself that, Jordyn, how awesome is it that you are now looking for a partner that you feel like you understand yourself so much better, and you understand your want and needs, and like you love yourself. Now you can give that love to someone else. Because if you would have dated someone and married them 5 years prior, you would probably not be married to that person anymore, because you've changed so much. So it's like a mindset shift that I always would tell myself, like, no, this is good for you and your timeline, because you need to be at a certain point in life to find that person. And that helped me so much.
I think that's a really good point of internally shifting your mind and like reframing it. And also thinking like, okay, if you had the single friend, right? She could either be the single friend or she could be the one really focused on her career.
Yeah.
Holding out working on herself until she finds the right person.
Yes. Or if you feel like you want babies because everyone else around you is, be like, or the friend or that friend, be like, no, they're traveling and experiencing life before they do that. Or they're trying to hit a financial goal before they do that. Or you are doing that. And it's like, it's challenging, but it's also so easy to shift your mindset. And when you do, it's just like, it's really game changing. Because then I also think you stop comparing yourself when you shift your mindset, because you put yourself on a different trajectory that doesn't compare to that person anymore.
Yes, I'm with you. And I think that there's this concept of like laying the groundwork, which is, there was like 2 examples I just thought of. But one is the girl that messaged me and she was like, I really want to have babies. Like, I want to have kids. I really want that life, but I don't even have a boyfriend yet. And so I'm worried it won't come. Okay. Laying the groundwork, I think, applies there just as much as I think it applies in careers where, let's say you go to law school or medical school and a lot of your friends could have finance jobs where they're instantly making money, but you're paying money, right? So like you're still in school paying money out, but you know, you have to go to residency. Like I think doctors is the best example, but fast forward 10 years. Okay, well then you got your job. You just had to wait longer to get it, which is laying the groundwork example, or like cutting your teeth to get your experience to then be able to get the job that will put you in the position to succeed. And for the girl who says like, I want to have kids, it's like, work on yourself. Put yourself in the best possible position right now so that when you do find the guy that you're ready, like you're ready to go and like you're the best version of yourself.
Yeah. I could not agree more. And I know it's a little like woo-woo to say sometimes that like everything happens for a reason, but like that also is something that I tell myself, like everything happens for a reason. Things come to you when you're ready. And like saying little things like that to myself does help me not feel so stuck, or prevents me from comparing, because I'm like, the universe will give it to me when I am ready for it. It's similar to like how I met Pete. Like it was like a true moment of, okay, you put in the work in therapy for loving yourself. We're now going to give you someone to love.
Yes, because had you have met Pete a year before, do you think that you could have had the relationship you have today?
Absolutely not. I think that I can't speak for him because I don't know where he was mentally. Like, I don't know if he was looking for a relationship a year prior, but for me, I probably would have pushed him away and been a bit toxic because I was trying to figure out my own stuff, my own attachment styles, my own ways of loving people, or like understanding that I deserve love, where I probably would have ruined the relationship because I wasn't ready yet.
It's so funny. One thing I've been thinking so much about is like, you know, you do get things when you're ready. You do run into people that you can handle seeing when you're ready. Like, I do think that the universe, they've got our back like that if you believe it does.
1,000%. Like, there's so many situations where you're like, wow, that was like so serendipitous, but it's like, no, the universe just like gave it to you because it was the right time and you trusted it.
Yeah, and I don't think you can't expedite that process.
No, you could try, but that's, I think, a lot of times when failure happens or just like it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and if you're patient, like being patient is part of the process. I think I would say if you're in a point where you have to be patient and it feels frustrating, just having trust that it will all work out, like I think it can be really difficult, but it pays dividends. Instead of like, I remember yesterday when I brought up the topic of the girl wanting kids but not having the boyfriend yet. Well, one thing you said that I really liked was, yeah, but better to do that than find the wrong guy.
Yeah, fully. Like, it's just, yeah, it's hard because everyone feels stuck, and feeling stuck happens to the best of us every day. There's a different feeling you feel every day, and comparison happens every single day. But I think just like knowing that there is a right path for you out there and like trusting yourself and the universe's plan, just it helps put you at ease.
Yeah, and I think to the note of the timelines, right? I don't know who created the timelines. I actually think I actually think depending on geography, all timelines are different. So like forget the timelines, because 35 in New York is a young mom.
Young.
It's very young, and I think that gets lost in the Midwest sometimes. And so I just think you can't skip the timeline. You can't go with the wrong guy just to start the family, because then fast forward and think about when you're 40. Okay, you could be divorced or you could be miserable. Instead, you have to have patience and just say, I'm not going to settle for the wrong thing. Don't you think?
Yeah, I always think about the example you said about Vera Wang, how she created her first dress at what, like 45 or 50 or something?
Yeah, I don't even remember the age, but it was something like that. Yeah.
And
you
now,
just think she was a designer at 21.
Yeah, and now she's one of the most respected wedding dress designers out there. And if she wouldn't have followed her correct timeline and like kept believing in herself, she wouldn't be known for that. Or even like Demi Moore, I don't know if she won, but like getting nominated for.
She won. It was her first one.
Yeah, like think about how long and how many movies and TV shows she's been in. And then at the age of 50-something, she's winning.
And I think what she said was somebody told her at some point she couldn't do it. Like I'm paraphrasing here, but like you'll never be taken seriously as an actress.
Yeah.
And that lived in her head for a really long time. And then she finally got it. And Demi Moore is not 25, like she didn't learn this lesson then. And so I think the thing is, and I think, correct me if you don't agree, because I want to make it clear, like Jordan and I are still figuring everything out, right? We're just talking about experiences that we've had with this. But I think the comparison comes from you find one person that's done it and it's like, why is that not me? Instead, it's like, okay, everyone is still trying to figure it out.
I fully agree with you. I mean, you and I, like the amount of times our careers have changed since not even just moving to New York, but since graduating college. Like, and I'm sure every time we made a career move, we're like, we haven't figured it out. We'll be here forever. And think about how many different career moves, or like even with our content, like how many times you and I have like changed like what we're like niching in or what we're talking about to like figure out like what works. Like it's, you know what I mean?
Yes, and I think that's actually a really good point, is like the ability to pivot, but B, the not being afraid to fail, I think is in there with this comparison. Like, yes, there's comparison, but also like trying things. Being okay if something doesn't work.
I know comparison is the thief of joy is a very common term, but I do tell myself that on a regular basis, and it does help my brain remember like, oh, you're taking so much enjoyment out of this day, opportunity, experience because you are comparing yourself to that person or that individual or that video, this or that. And like that does help me like snap back and be like, oh no, like I truly am like in self-pity now because I'm comparing myself.
Yes, and you have to, and I always think like comparison is the thief of joy, and you always have to remember where you started to realize how far you've come. And I think we're really quick to forget. And then the next thing I think is when you say comparison is the thief of joy, it's like the journey's the best part, right? Everyone always thinks like, oh, but you hear about these founders all the time. And they're like, I sold my business and I woke up the next day and I had all the money in my bank account in the world that you could possibly dream of. And I didn't know what to do with myself. It meant nothing.
There's this girl on TikTok. I love her. She is the owner of the Nitro Coffee Bar in Providence, Rhode Island. And she always talks about how she maxed out so many of her credit cards. And I want to say like, I can't remember the exact number. I feel like she like threw like six figures or like $1 million around like how much she like was in debt or like maxed out. And now she maxed out so many credit cards and now she's making millions. But she was like, there was a point where I was in debt up to my eyeballs. Like everyone around me thought I couldn't make it. And now she has one of like the most, if not the most successful and most viral coffee shops in the East Coast.
Yeah, and I bet like she loved that journey. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like she probably at one point was in debt up to her eyeballs, but she knew what she was working for and she knew it would work out.
And it didn't happen overnight. She's been doing it for years. She's not 21. She's in her 30s. And yeah, she just like, she didn't give up on herself. And she also really appreciates her journey because she put in so much work to get to where she is.
Yeah, I always think shots on net, one will go in.
Yeah. So that's also too, I like to follow people like that because I'm like, okay, this person, like, I admire them. They hustled and they did it for a long time and like they're older and like they took the untraditional route. So it's like also to like follow and make sure you're consuming content of people that you admire and that you don't feel like you are comparing yourself to.
Yeah, that's actually a really good plan or idea, suggestion, because it makes you, if you're just like following this like life that you want to live, but there's so many steps in between, I do think that could start to weigh on your mental health.
Totally, especially.
And you would compare.
I mean, especially now with like all the social media platforms and TV shows and like access to everyone else's life.
No question. I think it can get so comparison heavy.
Yeah. Timelines are stupid. I agree with you. I'm like, who invented this?
Like, when did we start having to do all that, you know?
Right?
By a certain date.
Yeah. But I like this conversation. I think it's something that everyone struggles with, no matter if they admit it or not. And it's like, there's no one cure for all or like a quick fix. It's just, I think, like telling yourself little things and little mantras throughout the day to like get you through.
Yeah, sitting in comparison is never the right. Like, I do think if you're there, right, if you're sitting and you're that you do have to get out of that mind, that headspace. Like, you do have to say, okay, where do I go? And it's just like, enjoy your process. Make one small change. I think that's a very good. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, because you will jump to the next comparison, like no matter what.
Yeah, right. So stop the cycle.
Yeah.
Do we want to do our listener question?
Yeah, this one is a little bit wild.
Okay, let's see here. Ready? Okay, listener question. My boyfriend and I recently attended one of my oldest friend's weddings. My best friend since middle school, we're both almost 30 now, was there too, along with her boyfriend, whom I hadn't met yet. He seemed nice at first glance and was definitely as quirky as her, which I loved. But then we went to take pictures. Mind you, this was at a beautiful winery the day after it had rained. As we walked through the yard, I yelled, "Shit, my heels are sinking into the mud." Her boyfriend then said, "Maybe this is your sign to lose weight." My boyfriend almost lost his temper but managed to keep it together since it wasn't our day to make a scene. I decided to hold it in for the time being as well. Later, when I brought it up to my best friend, she got super defensive and shut me out completely as if I had made it up. I really wanted to repair things with her and try and reach an understanding. We went from talking every day to not talking at all. Do you think I should reach out or just wait for her to come to me? I'm also worried for her. If her boyfriend can say something like that to a near stranger, what might he be saying to her behind closed doors?
So just to be clear, the boyfriend said that to her, not the girlfriend.
Right. The friend.
I mean, I think I would be more upset at the friend for not having my back. Like, I can't, like, I'm trying to think, like, if, like, imagine if Sydney's husband said that to you or if Madeline's fiance said that to me and they didn't say anything, I would be like, no, I'm not mad at your husband or fiance because whatever. I'm mad at you for not sticking up and not allowing your partner to speak to someone like that, but two, also the person that like you're best friends with.
Yeah, it is so I agree. This one has a lot of layers, but like I'm so first off, I'm with her on what's he saying to her behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's a bit, why did she go to defend him so hard?
And pretend like it didn't happen? Like, how do you pretend that didn't happen?
I mean, it's your best friend, so like you know her character. You know if she's telling you it did happen.
Yeah. I feel like I can understand the friend, obviously, like, in the position she's in because, like, it's her best friend. But, like, if anyone should be mad, it should be her mad at those two and, like, not wanting to speak to those two.
So so that's your advice to her, right? If she's saying, do you think I should reach out or just wait for her to come to me? My only thing is, I think it'll be a very long time. There's two options here. She marries this guy and she never comes to you and things are never the same. And you need to grieve that relationship and just know that's a very real thing that can happen here. The other thing is, I don't think she'll come to you until they break up.
Yeah, and if she does come to you, I don't think this would be the last time that this happens, where he says something inappropriate and she sticks up for him over you. And that will be a very hard thing to deal with for the rest of your friendship.
Yeah, I think he'll dig his own grave. Anyone, I mean, that's an outlandish, uncalled for, not okay comment. Kudos to her husband or her boyfriend for not getting involved.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, this is such a sweet girl that wrote this, right? Because she wants, like, her friend back and she wants to keep the peace and, like, she's sad it happened. But I'm afraid he's probably in your friend's ear saying, don't talk to her anyways. Who cares? Like,
yeah.
Some mean things. And I hate when these things happen.
I think if we're being, like, very rational and she wants advice to, like, meet the girl, what I would do is I would, like, give it a while, let everyone cool off, and then try to ask her out to, like, dinner to make sure that it's just those two, and then have, like, a very heartful conversation, and don't blame. Just be like, I'm just curious to, like, if he's speaking to me like that, I just want to make sure you're okay, or I know that he probably didn't mean it, but can we just, like, acknowledge that this happened, and can you maybe explain to me, like, more on his character? Like, don't go in, like, blaming her. Just try to make her understand that your feelings were hurt.
That's great advice. And make sure to get just the two of them. And I do think if you don't go into blame and you just, I think what you just said is perfect. And I think that the friend will at least feel loved. And even if she can't admit it right then, right? Maybe she's like, a new relationship, he's the shiny boy, she's head over heels for him. But all in due time will she realize, like, I don't like the way he treats me, and she'll know she can call you.
Yeah. But if you want to know what I would do, I would tell them both to F off.
I would have just, yeah. It was nice of her not to make a scene at that moment, but I would have been like, what did you just say to me? And I would have called the girl over and been like, this is what he just said, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
But that's hindsight.
Yeah. And in my head, I'd be like, if your boyfriend's saying it and you're not defending him, that's you saying it to me as well. So, or if you're not defending me, I mean.
Yeah, and pretending like it didn't happen, that's a sad situation. But it's sweet of the listener to write this because she obviously cares about her friend, but
it's really sad.
You also just, like, wouldn't make that up for what?
Right? Like, in what world?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't do anybody any good.
No. Sad. But I hope everything works out, and she seems like a good friend and she deserves better. So I hope she figures this out. Yeah, I agree. Should we do Rex?
Yes, I love that we're gonna do some skin, some rosé.
Yeah, we have 3 recs each because we felt like, or 2 to 3 recs each because we felt like we can't just keep giving you guys, like, TV shows to watch. Like, we need to give you, like, other recs that we're loving.
Okay, so you've got a rosé one in light of Napa.
Yeah, so New York is officially warming up. It is like 60 degrees. And the other day I had Yes Way Rosé, which is one of my favorite rosés. And it just made me feel like summer is here. I don't know. There's something about rosé where when I drink it, it, like, puts me in the warm weather mood. And I was just happy.
I also love their branding. Like, I know I can see the bottle. Yes Way Rosé. Also genius of them.
Madeline's Bachelorette's coming up, and in my head, like, I was thinking about, like, what we're gonna alcohol to get, and I always pick up, like, Yes Way Rosé for the wine of choice because it's like she said yes,
Yeah, that's cute. You could even write on it, she said, and then it could be like, yes way rosé.
So I'm going to get like a bunch of Yes Way Rosé for her. And it's just like cute. It's like pink and it's like a really pretty bottle. So I know I drank the rosé and I was like, one, forgot how delicious this is. And two, I'm like, summer's here. I'm happy. Or spring is here, I should say.
Yeah, spring. But spring in New York, oh, it's the best. Okay, so then I see, let's just do all of yours.
Okay, so then my next one, I just wanted to let you know that I officially got a hydrofacial for the first time. Loved it. Obsessed.
Right? It's nothing like it.
If you guys live in New York, I go to Athos NYC, and Eva, she does my facials, and it was the most magical experience that I've ever experienced.
You actually feel the dirt being sucked out.
My skin, I was like, is my skin real right now? I looked so much like a glazed donut. I was like, I feel so good right now.
It's truly like the sucking, and then they prime your face to put stuff back in it. Like that tool, that it's like a pat there. So when you drive from LA to Orange County, there's the Hydrofacial HQ on the side of the road, and like they are in there like seriously working on the technology of like removing the dirt and then immediately inserting in the hydration because it like penetrates the deepest level. I really think that technology is pretty cool.
Oh, I love that. Also too, like that's one of the best facials I think a beginner can get because it's gentle on the skin, but also like everyone needs moisture in their skin.
Yes, and dirt removed. Yes, yeah. Totally agree.
And then my last rec is, so you have been telling me that you really like Nexus products, and you know I'm like a slick back bun girly, so I got the Nexus Slick Stick. Love it. I don't know why I haven't been using a slick stick my entire life. It's game changing.
It's game changing, and I was never using one either, but postpartum I have these like flies, right? Like a lot of my hair is just like broken.
I have that.
Yeah, and like it's just, I've always seen people be like, get this slick back stick. And I'm always like, I'm not going to add that in. It is the biggest game changer. And I'm taking it with me to the wedding because one night I'm like, I'm going to do a slick back, but it's just like an elevated slick back when you add this Nexus slick stick to it.
I always have so I always have dead baby hairs on my left side, and I always have one that sticks up, and no gel or hairspray will ever get it down. But like the slick stick, since it's like a heavier balm, it like actually keeps it down from sticking up, which I love. So
yeah, I'm so with you.
What are your recs? Those are my three.
Okay, so mine is the Skin Farm cleansing pad. And this pad, like I'll take it down to my neck, and they're just like these little circular detoxing, and I use them like every 3 days. No, 3 times a week, right? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, loosely. And I like went to sleep this morning. I used it on my neck and my face, and they're like, I had dirt on me.
Yes.
And it's like, I've got to remember to use these cleansing pads because it's seriously, and my face will get a little red and tingly. I love it.
Do they have like a glycolic acid in them or like something exfoliant?
Yes.
Love. I will say an exfoliant pad is the best product for everyone to buy because one, it's so important to like remove the dead skin cells from your face, but two, it's like we're always supposed to exfoliate, but you should never use like, remember like the Neutrogena like little bead ones we would use when we were kids? Don't use those. Or like the St. Ives, like that is so bad for your skin and it scratches the surface. So the pads are chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's like just enough.
I'm gonna try those. I love Skin Farm, but I've never used their pads. But I have some other branded pads and I use them all the time.
I just got another box because I was like, they're my, and when I fly. Yes. The second I get off the airplane, it's my for sure when you travel. And then they also have this face whip that I just got like a couple days ago. And
like
it was
whip,
funny.
Like whipped cream? Like that whip? Okay.
Exactly. And like it's like a cloudy textured, but it firms you up. So I wear it at night. It's now my moisturizer that I put on before I go to bed. And you can feel it starts to tighten your skin, and it's a good moisturizer. I've like tried a lot of them. I really like this one.
Wait, I need to try those. I'm like really into this face whip. That sounds lovely.
It is, and it's just like, it's a tube, right? It's not a squirt. You put your hand in there. Oh yeah.
Wait, you should post it on your Instagram story or send me a picture of you putting it on because I'm like so curious to what this looks like.
Okay, I will. I sent a photo of the closed jar in our group text, but I need to open the jar for you.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up. That I love like a fun texture.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Okay, yay. Well, we love you guys. Per usual, Keep sending us listener questions, Am I the Asshole topic suggestions, and join us on our book, what was it called? Book club? No, TV show club for Good American Family.
Yeah, exactly. Go watch it.
Okay, perfect. We love you guys so much.
Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye.
I'm Alex Bennett.
And I'm Jordyn Woodruff. So, AB, do what you do best.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Stay connected with us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Snapchat at @MeanGirlPod. Podcast plus social artwork and post-production by Creative Evolution Studios. Mean Girl Pod, we're your besties in your ear. New episodes every Monday.